Special thanks to all our patrons who support the show every single week. Patrons, you keep the Run, Eat, Drink podcast going, and we're so grateful for all the support you give and the community that you've helped us to build. Not a patron yet? Join us today. Head over to patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast or buymeacoffee.com/runeatdrinkpod and subscribe for bonus content, social media shoutouts, and much more. Help support our show by using our Amazon affiliate link anytime you shop on Amazon for running gear, food, beverages, or anything else the little gray trucks might bring your way. Just use runeatdrink.net/Amazon anytime you shop. There's no additional cost. It's just one bonus click to help us keep the lights on and the bandwidth flowing. Go to runeatdrink.net/Amazon. And we thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Jeff Galloway, and you are listening to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country. And after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation.
Hey, welcome to episode 291 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, feels like it's been a minute.
It has. It has. I have come into, as many of you saw in our recent social media posts, little hiccups, little
speed bumps.
Yeah.
Caution, runners.
Oh,
speed bumps ahead.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I think
do you have it?
We might even have that audio.
Okay. I don't know if you do, but I've hit some speed bumps along the way here in my recovery from shoulder surgery last April. And yeah, what can I say except for...
Not last April. In April. Last April's a year plus ago.
Oh. You don't say that?
No.
Oh.
You can say this past April.
Okay. I've hit some speed bumps in my recovery from shoulder surgery this past April, the most recent April.
The Aprilist of Aprils. Yeah, I think it's funny. We've had people say, what do you mean your shoulder surgery affects your running?
It does.
I have no idea. Like until you get something done to your upper body, what impact that has on the way that you move to support yourself. When you're running, you're engaging your whole body.
When you run,
it's not just your legs.
Yeah. There's this whole thing that your hips support you, but then it's also your glutes, and then that's
core, which affects your lower back.
And your upper back.
And
too.
Upper back and shoulders affect balance.
And if you don't have the right form or the right posture, then everything else is off.
You start compensating. And you start doing things that are not conducive to further training.
No.
And you're on a very aggressive training schedule right now you're closely monitored by the person who introduced the show.
America's coach.
Our coach.
Olympian Jeff Galloway.
You're being aggressively coached. You are incorporating strength training. You're doing rehab exercises for your shoulder. You're doing 39-degree cold plunges twice a day.
We haven't even talked about how we got a cold plunge. How we fabricated a cold plunge in the time since the most Aprilist of April.
Yeah, but you're doing those...
The most recent of April.
Twice a day, and we'll just call that medieval torture. And I do them too, but I don't... You're like...
You haven't gotten in the 39-degree one yet.
Not yet, no.
Don't lie.
I've done plenty of cold plunges.
You have, it's true.
80 pounds of ice dropped in there. I'm not sure how cold that got, but it got pretty darn cold.
I think in the 40s.
But now we've got the electric chiller, and that thing just cycles the water through it, and you can set the temperature and all that. but you're doing that twice a day. You're running and working out 3 days a week. So it's intense. And then when you have a little thing throw off the whole chain.
Yes, there are some yoga teachers from Eckhart Yoga that's recently merged with another yoga service that I can't think of at the moment. But
now we've interviewed Esther on the show, Esther Eckhart on the show before, and that's a service that they're not sponsors.
No,
but you really like
but it's amazing
for yoga.
It's amazing because there are all these different teachers. I'll post a link in the show notes. I don't think it's changed. It's still eckhartyoga.com, even though they've merged with another yoga platform.
Okay.
But they are the different teachers and the different styles of yoga have different purposes. And there is a teacher on that platform, and her name is Julie Martin. And I can't remember where she's from, but she is absolutely phenomenal. And if there are any of Julie Martin's videos on YouTube, she caters to people who are, as she likes to say in intros to her yoga practice.
Lessons, yeah.
Yeah. She likes to say rock climbers, footballers, maybe she's Canadian, runners, cyclists. And she talks about the whole posterior chain, the whole posterior chain that starts from the top of your head and goes all the way down, or your
down the back of your body,
all the way to your foot.
Yeah.
So everything is impacted when something is not working right in the chain.
Right.
So that is what I have been dealing with.
And that's the explanation behind the post you guys saw on social media the other day.
Yeah.
A roundabout way.
Yes, because there have been some setbacks in building strength and maintaining range of motion.
Yeah, that's the main thing you got to keep working on, is making sure your range is good.
So
while building strength.
Yeah, because your range of motion, you have to reach. How are you going to,
from tying your shoes to washing your backside to getting that thing off the top shelf, it's vital.
Yeah, but when you're running, it's your whole upper body is, you have to be able to reach your hydration, your nutrition.
Also, it's for anyone when you're running too, and something that we were very hyper cognizant of when you were initially on the recovery is if you have a fall.
And you're most likely, when what's your instinct?
You're gonna put your hands out. You've got to be able to
which is not good.
Break your fall and be strong enough to do it so that you don't bust your chiclets out of your mouth. And yeah, Amy's wincing at the thought. So anyway, that's the explanation there. I know some people were like, what are you doing with your shoulder and running? That now you know.
The whole body's involved.
It is.
So.
But we have a great episode lined up for you guys this week. You put it out on the interwebs and asked people to ask us questions about.
They've probably forgotten that I put it out there, but I put it out there.
Hey, you said send us in your questions about running, eating, and drinking. We'll answer anything you send. We got a couple of different mediums that they were sent in by. And then if we have time, I've got some more food and beverage from my trip to Boston that I took for work a few weeks ago. And,
fantastic. We could make this an extra long episode for a long run. Nice long run if you want. Or we could break it into 2 weeks.
We'll see how it goes. Or we'll get to the food and drink next episode. But yeah, because we have so many questions, we're not going to do shout outs this week. But if you've listened to the show before, or if you're new to the show, we like to give shout outs to people, whether it's that you've achieved something, you're shouting somebody out who's achieved something. Let us know. You can email us at info@runeatdrink.net. That's info@runeatdrink.net.
Or you can call us and leave us a message, or you can actually text us there too. It's 941-677-2733. That's 941-6733. And we would love it if you left a message, because then we could play your voice and make you Runcation Nation famous.
That's right. This is an audio medium, and we do love audio.
We love hearing from you.
Leave us those messages.
Yeah. So,
shall we answer some questions about running, eating, and drinking?
yes, I've tried to categorize them into those sections of our show that we normally have.
Okay.
So running goes first, of course. We've tried it backwards. It just doesn't work at a race. It doesn't.
You should definitely not be drinking before the run, or sometimes during is okay. It depends on what you're drinking and how long the run is.
Yeah.
But so we've got some questions here. And the first one is from executive producer of the show, Josh Ozbirn.
Yes.
And he sent us an audio message. Thank you, Josh, for doing that. You understood the assignment. Let's go ahead and play that now.
What is your memorable finish separately and most memorable finish together? Also, what is your method for solving the pre-race jitters? Have a wonderful day. More.
Oh, I almost played it twice.
There's the man in charge of hashtags and hot sauces.
The most memorable finish separately and then most memorable finish together.
Wow. It's a loaded question.
It is.
This one.
Most of our finishes are together. We rarely run separate. Yeah. Now we do sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with one that's probably a little bit you probably aren't expecting, and it's not really for a big reason, but most memorable finish separately will probably be the Publix A1 half marathon that we did in 2019 or 2020.
Yeah, it's the month before the world shut down in terms of races. Period.
And the reason that one was so memorable for me was because it was because of the shoes I was wearing.
Now, which shoes were you wearing? Just to remind us.
I was wearing a pair of Hoka's during that race, and I had never done a distance beyond a 5K in them.
Those Bondi, I have the Bondis. I don't know.
I had a pair of Hoka's. I threw them away after this race. I had to peel those shoes off of me, and they just chewed my feet up beyond belief. That was just a mistake. Now I had run in them. It wasn't like I had never run in them before, but that was just I powered through the race, but I've never damaged myself so much, I think, during a race as I did with those shoes. And I threw them away in the hotel when we got back to the hotel. And I remember that.
But you ran that for a PR.
I ran it for a PR, and I just said, I'll just charge through the pain and we'll get over it. And I did.
Well, I happen to think some of the whiskey.
At mile 9, I was given Jameson whiskey on the course, and that helped. Yeah. That's probably one of my most memorable solo finishes.
I am going to throw back to something a little more recent. And everybody knows that you have been battling your Achilles injury.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept you from running the half marathon at Donna this year.
Yes.
So I'm going to say one of my most memorable finishes was with Fitz and our executive producer who sent in this question.
Yes.
It would be the Donna half marathon from this year, from 2024, because it was the first year back after I was unable to attend due to the cancer treatment that my dad was going through.
Right.
And that I needed to be here and in Tampa at Moffitt to take care. So take care of him, take care of family, which was fantastic because Moffitt has been amazing and he is thriving on the treatments he's been given there, all of them. So I'm thankful for that, but I was thankful for this year's comeback, first of all, because I just missed the energy of that race. When you got up in the morning and decided that you weren't going to run, that it just wasn't in the cards for you physically, Josh just came right to the rescue and said, Amy's not going to be in it alone. And we went out there, and for a majority of the race, it was clear. It was, like an overcast kind of day. And then in the last 2 miles is what's most memorable, is just, it started to pour.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh and I are just like it was not a runner's high. Is it a runner's high? No. It was just like we're soaked through the bone, and it was cold and rainy and wet. And we were how you just have times where you're just crazy with laughter. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I don't know what's happening. I just know that I'm having a great time. I'm hand in hand with a member of the Runcation Nation, and we're met at the finish by one of our favorite announcers, Fitz Kohler, Team Noisy. And she danced with me in the rain, and you were there at the finish. So that is one of the most memorable ones because it was a great comeback, and there was a little bit of adversity there at the end. I was with people that I love and care about at the end, and it was just a great comeback to a race weekend that we love. And hey, registration's open.
Shameless plug.
Just saying.
And as far as race finishes together, I'm going to go all the way back to a Run Disney race. I'm going to call, and it's an event that doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't even happen at the time of day anymore. And it's the Wine and Dine Half Marathon Relay, our very first big race that we did. Yeah.
And we were apart.
Okay, technically, but I consider that together. We ran the relay. Okay, no, fine. I won't go to that.
You can. No, don't change your answer.
No, okay. All right, fine. You get done, you cross, you get your medal. It's my first time getting one of these big race medals and all that. And then we got to go do the after party at Disney. And this is back when they did a relay, which lets you split the race up. So you did the first 5, I did the last 8, the biggest chunk, just putting that out there.
Just putting it out there that you put forth the greatest maximum effort.
And then it was a nighttime race. It starts at 10 p.m. It went to 4 a.m. Not the race itself, but the after party went to, was it 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 4 a.m.
I think the park was open till 4 a.m. whenever they had that after party.
So we got to shut down the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, which they kept going while we're there. And
that was the way to do it,
It was such a neat event.
Love
and that gave me such an unrealistic expectation for the way running would be after.
All of the future races.
Like, they're all this good? No, they're not.
And after party?
Yeah, I was just total party vibe.
Yeah.
So much fun, really unique. I mean, that was, I think, that's like the first, because prior to that, we'd only done a 5K.
Yeah, yeah. A race finished together. We finished Jeff Galloway's race the year that it was just pouring down rain and bone cold, and we were in those blue plastic ponchos, and we were layered underneath.
It got up to 40 degrees that day.
And I remember us being separated on the course, and you actually stopping to get coffee.
That's a horrible idea.
Which I believe you shared with Susan Kolbinski.
I did, because I realized I could not run stably enough to carry the coffee without spilling it all over myself.
Who is a wonderful woman who handles Jeff Galloway's e-coaching and directs us towards the questionnaires and handles the registration for his coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So that I remember. But I remember you catching up to me and us finishing, and I just remember seeing that a PR was possible, and you still had the get up with the Rode mic and the iPhone attached to it with the red adapter that we had. And I remember you saying, go get it. And so I took off, but you were still with me, and you crossed the finish line maybe like seconds after me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember turning around and raising my hands and screaming so loud that the announcer went, oh, she got a PR. She got a PR. And I think I pegged our microphone.
Oh, yeah, you absolutely did.
But it was just a fabulous finish that we had together, and a moment that we had with Jeff Galloway afterwards when we went in Piedmont Park and near those steps and the rocks where we got the photo taken with him. And it was just that I felt so good having you with me and just celebrating all that hard work that we had done right after, but in the months leading up to that, how hard we had worked and with your high blood pressure and everything that we had done to get through and get fit and get well. And it was just a great moment together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a heck of a start to this Ask Us Anything episode.
He also asked us how we handle the pre-race jitters.
I don't really get them. Not really.
What advice would you have for somebody who does get them?
Oh, no one's going to like my advice.
Suck it up.
Yeah, get on with it and get over it. Yeah, that's mine. I don't really get pre-race jitters. Like I'm not going to go do a race distance I haven't already done. And unless people are going to start pelting me with things as we're running, I don't really have a lot to worry about other than have I trained enough? Yeah, that's really it. I don't typically get race jitters.
There was one time that I got them really bad.
And I told you my advice. Get over it. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. We were in California. It was...
I knew you were going to mention this one.
The first time we had finished Wine and Dine and we were out there doing Avengers half for the Coast to Coast medal for the first time.
Which was a great race series that Disney should bring back, but...
That was it. And it was a great finish line that we did together. I still have a photo of it. But I woke up and I did like my pre-race ritual yoga. I did my pre-race ritual yoga. And I was just so nervous. I went to take painkillers.
Mm-hmm. And
I couldn't keep them down. I was just so nervous that I threw them up. And you're like, you got to breathe. You just have to. So my answer for the pre-race jitters is do yoga.
Yeah, you've now incorporated that into your get up, like at big races. You get up like extra time so that you can do like at least a 30-minute yoga routine.
Yes. But I also think you have to find the thing that makes you the most centered and the most calm and the most ready, however you get up for your races, and get in the right mindset to do it. So meditate. A lot of people do meditation. A lot of people are just there. It's their pre-race warm-up, specifically at the start, that is the key. So it's just whatever is going to make you feel your best across the start.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
good
what
advice.
I would say.
I think that's good advice for those that get pre-race jitters. Like I said, I'm just the wrong person to ask for that one. All right. But we got some other questions.
We do. We do. So, Josh, thank you for those. And thanks for sending them in via audio.
So Mike Leslie, who's known as Run Disnerd, sent us a couple.
Yes.
I'll read this one.
Okay.
What's worse? No glide available before a race or code brown during a race? I know the answer to this one for me, but I'll let you start.
I would say a code brown.
Okay.
During a race. Only because I am a back of the packer. This sounds so bad right now.
You're never going to get a fresh porta potty?
No. Because I can't afford the time.
Okay.
I can't afford the time. No glide available before a race. He didn't say that theoretically you couldn't be on the race course and stop at a medic tent and get some
Vaseline,
body glide or Vaseline or something like that. So there.
Okay. I have to look at this strategically.
Uh-huh.
So no glide available before the race leaves you open to developing a bad hotspot from chafing very early on, which is going to impact you throughout the entire race.
That's true.
So I think that no glide available before the race is worse. You're usually not going to get a medical tent early. It's usually going to be at the halfway point or beyond. So I think that it's worse not to have, or it's worse to have no glide before the race. In runners, you guys know what we're talking about.
It could be bad.
Body Glide is a brand, but it could be whatever your version of it is.
Like nut butter.
The anti-chafing stuff.
Any anti-chafing relief.
And once you get it, you get a really bad hot spot early, it sucks. And you got to deal with it. You had one happen once, I remember, at a We were doing Expedition Everest.
Yeah.
And that
It was bad.
that made the whole night kind of miserable.
Yeah.
As far as Code Brown goes, porta potties are great. If I gotta go, I gotta go. Again, the worst part at big races is if the porta potties aren't well maintained. You get in there, there's no toilet paper. Oh boy. Always bring some dude
Tissues
wipes
or
or something
something
with you at a race, because sometimes if the urge hits you, especially if you shouldn't be trying new nutrition on day of race. But
or
if
the
you
night
do,
before,
or the night before,
like your meal.
don't get fancy, don't get adventurous. But if you do, at least you'll have something with you to wipe effectively with. So
Yes.
that's a good question.
I like those little travel pouches of dude wipes. Not a sponsor of the show.
Not a sponsor of the show, but they could be. Come on, dude wipes.
Exactly. You could be a runner's best friend. Just saying. Anyway, he also added another question.
Mm-hmm.
And this I put in the running portion because it's, for me, I feel like he's asking pre-race.
Okay.
The coffee order that you would have at a Dunkin's in Boston, let's say, if you were doing the BAA 5K, if you were doing the 10K, if you were...
I thought he was asking about my school, since I mentioned so many Dunkins in Boston.
That's true. He probably is. So never mind.
But no, Boston Marathon is important. And the good news is, if you're in the Boston Marathon, chances are you'll find a Dunkin' Donuts. That city is littered with them. I'm boring when it comes to my coffee order. I typically go coffee, straight brewed coffee, black. If I'm feeling adventurous, I have them put cream in it. If they have heavy cream, that's the route I go. Otherwise, half and half. That's it. I'm easy.
That's it.
You?
Same. It's the same.
I don't need a mocha, frappa, whatever nonsense before a race. I'm trying to run down the course, not vibrate down the course.
And you don't need the extra dairy or sugar.
And I've just gotten to the
way.
point where I just don't do sugar in my coffee anymore.
Yeah.
I used to years ago, but not anymore. Now, we also got questions from Anna Runs on Coffee.
Yes, we did.
What is your favorite race swag you've gotten from a race?
Oh, I know they still owe us. It's really hard to say, because I was going to say the Infinity Gauntlet, but they still owe us, what, 3 stones?
3 races, yeah.
Yeah. 3 stones, 3 races, because I liked that theme and I thought that they were very well executed.
Yes.
Medals. But I also really liked the 2020 edition, even though we couldn't run in Jacksonville, of Donna because it was Valentine's Day. It was, I think, the 14th anniversary of the race, and it was a heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really liked that, and I really thought it took a lot of heart for everybody in the Runcation Nation to come together and do all that virtually. And I think, aren't we still finding confetti in here?
Yes, we are. Yeah. Pro tip, don't deploy a confetti cannon in your house.
And I think that there may still be, like when we replace this carpet.
Oh, 100% there will be confetti under there. Yes.
We're just going to find it. Yeah. Yeah. What about you?
Okay, I'm going to have a couple of answers for this.
I said medals. She said swag.
Medal swag. Yeah. I was a huge fan of the Jogging for Frogmen 5K medal. If we're talking about medals, they had that is a charity event that benefits the U.S. Navy SEALs Foundation. That foundation helps families of Navy SEALs who are deployed, those that are injured in the line of duty.
I loved that race.
What a great event. We did the one in Louisville that year. They do them all over the country. I would encourage people to look that organization up and see if there's a Jogging for Frogmen event near them. But the medal has an integrated bottle opener, which is phenomenal. I'm also a huge fan, while we're channeling our inner Lush. You mentioned the Donna medal, the Donna Mother's Day 5K, I think, had a wine stopper.
It did.
Medal one year, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was the one before they resumed live races.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
But since we're channeling, what did you say? Our inner
Lush.
Yeah. Okay. Back OG style, the original race that kicked off our podcast period, the swag, we got the Tampa Beer Run pint glasses.
Yeah, we still have them. And we get more every time we go run it. So yeah, that one's hard to beat. Plus, they always do a good shirt. They have one of the softest shirts that I think we ever get at a race. So.
I wouldn't run in it.
No, but it's not a pure cotton, I don't think. It's like a spandex hugging type thing. Bless you.
So sorry.
So, yeah. What race is at the top of our race bucket list? Also from Anna Runs on Coffee.
Yes. She gave a fantastic race recap of New York, by the way.
Yeah, she did. Check that episode out.
I love not one, but 2 episodes because she gave so many tips that were great. I just love them. Okay. What's the top of my bucket list? New York. The New York City Marathon might be near the top. Speaking of that, because Anna just talked about how the crowds are just fantastic. Marco Cicchetto even said that when he was on our show. So I think maybe that. And I also would really like to do the Little Rock race weekend that gives Back of the Packers, I don't know, like a 2-hour head start for the marathon. And I think that a few Runcation Nation members, I think Jessica had said that it was just a great party. I also think JoJo might have said it was a good time too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's not going to be quite as grandiose.
Oh, sorry.
We'd always seen people doing it when we were running the California Disney races back when they used to schedule the Avengers race. And then people would come out and fly Avengers or run Avengers in the morning and then go do the Rock and Roll Las Vegas.
To run the strip at night. Yeah, that always sounds a good time.
That would be really cool. I think that time of year it wouldn't be miserably hot.
Oh, yeah.
The scenery along the course would just be amazing.
Indeed. That would be super cool.
Yeah, and then my other one is just a really obscure reference. There was a race that used to happen called the Canefield Classic, and the medal was a machete. Not a little machete, an actual machete. And you ran through sugarcane fields out in Louisiana, but I don't think they do the race anymore. So.
I take it back. I really want to go do that Scotch race in Scotland.
We don't have the name of that one, though, but we were looking at that race before the world shut down back in 2020.
Yeah, where there's Scotch at every...
It was a Scotch tasting.
At every mile.
And it ran you along many distilleries.
Yeah, I take it back.
Super cool.
That's got to be a bucket list race. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
If she finds that race, she'll link to it in the show notes.
Yeah, but I think that you have to be on top. I think it's Run Disney registration-esque.
Oh,
and that you have to be on top of it whenever.
I'm sure that the locals probably do a lot of them. And then the running masses from around the globe just suck up the last of the race entries there.
Lindy Myers, who is a patron on our Buy Me a Coffee, actually. Mm-hmm. Yes, she is an insider. She says, what race gave you the absolute best run, eat, drink experience and why?
This is a tough one.
There are many good choices.
There are. I'm going to go with the Anchorage Run Fest.
Really?
Yeah, because number one, Anchorage for me was a bucket list race. That was just a great chance to do that one.
It's amazing.
The race course itself is fast. It's flat. It's paved. It's very scenic.
Yeah.
You have just great opportunities for taking in wildlife, nature, beautiful mountains in the distance, plus some of downtown Anchorage.
Now I want to do it again.
So the race itself, phenomenal. Absolutely unbeatable. They've got a 49K there you can do. They have just, and it's at a time of year where the weather is very mild. Unless you are from there, in which case they think it's oppressively hot and they'll put a black flag on the course and tell you don't do a PR because it's going to get up to 75 degrees that day. We love our friends in Anchorage. We joke because
I love it there.
Coming from Florida, that was just amazing. The food scene there is so
Oh.
surprisingly good.
Yes.
You wouldn't expect it from a place that either has to essentially serve game meat or has to have everything
Oh.
shipped in. But
That's true.
we had just some incredible food there, and
Oh.
that's a double whammy because Midnight Sun Brewing has great food and beverage.
Yes. Anchorage Distilling.
Yep. And then when you get to the drinking portion, now
Oh.
it doesn't surprise me so much that they have a great drinking scene because for 6 months of the year, what else is there to do? But
It depends on your home, and build your retirement home the way it ought to be. And you can, okay.
yeah, they do have really fantastic drink scene there.
Yeah.
And it's just it's an amazing race. I can't say enough good about that one.
It is. It's Matanuska Brewing.
Mhm.
Also. So good.
Moose's Tooth Pizza. I've never had reindeer on a pizza.
One year, I would love to go do that race and actually get there to go to, I think it's the Beartooth, that is the theater that has that pizza that's in that family. So we can actually see a screening
It's like a dinner and a movie type thing.
of whatever running movie or documentary that they show, and then have that whole experience. I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to spend more time the next time we do that race.
It's also an incredibly veteran-friendly
Oh,
race
God.
event. There's a lot of veterans that live in that area. So it's
It's
just
fantastic. I think that
a lot of active duty military.
I guess do you call it like the post-race beer garden?
Yeah, the post-race party.
The post-race
there.
party, because we had a humongous dog there once, and the brews that they had were great, and they had like those reindeer sausages.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may say that you are absolutely 100% correct in that. Not only the first time we did it, but also the second time when we just went up there and did the 5K, and we happened to finish with Marco Cisetto just tapping you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And
of
Bart
course,
yelled.
I'm doing a 5K. Marco comes blowing past me because he's just done a half marathon. And Bart Yasso's announcing us in.
Yes.
I mean,
announcing us in. It's so great. It's so great. It's so great. So I would agree with you.
I mean, a close runner-up is actually pretty close to here in Florida, and that would be the Key West half.
Oh, that's fantastic because
Fast, flat course.
Yeah.
The only drawback to that one is the weather.
Heat.
Yeah, the weather is...
Or possible rain.
Is oppressively hot.
Or it's like raining and just like how it blew over kind of the arch.
And I can't believe that I'm even saying that. Like, I didn't even consider Gasparilla in Tampa. Again, fast, flat course, paved. You never know what the weather's going to be like in the food and drink scene in Tampa is really second to none. But
Eulalie.
I absolutely, it doesn't top Anchorage.
It's so hard to choose because we've been so lucky in the history of our show.
Mm-hmm.
But Cheryl, who gave us a great recap of what should be on our bucket list, which is a Marine Corps marathon. And so did Tanya. Tanya and Cheryl, we need to do the Marine Corps marathon weekend events. We need to do the 1775. We need to do all their stuff because it's super cool. And I want to be the
medals.
I want to be the penguin. I want to do I want to have the penguin. I want to be like the last finisher in the marathon to do the penguin thing. But Cheryl looks like walking on Instagram. What is your favorite medal of all time?
You first.
Is her question. It depends on your criteria. Because what's your favorite looking medal? What's the one that's your favorite that has the most meaning to you? So it's like, what is the rubric by which you grade?
It's up to you.
And I really think that one of my favorites was the dinner plate sized half marathon medal from Jeff Galloway's race that celebrated his 5-year anniversary of his race weekend in Atlanta. And that food and beverage scene, woohoo! Yeah.
Atlanta is very good as well.
But and that's where we went and we met Bob is 70 and Dopey. And we were all in the rain that same weekend, and we made the video of everybody who has so much appreciation for Jeff, everybody in his whole organization. I just, that medal was huge, but it also means a lot because he's our coach and he's so incredible as a person and has been so instrumental in the running community for just your average person who wants to get into running to better themselves physically or to support charity or just to challenge the limits that they thought they had themselves. So to me, that's one of the most meaningful ones. And I go back and I look at those video episodes when we were a video podcast, and the messages that people sent and what we said to Jeff, and just that's very meaningful.
Okay. I would agree. That's really good. I may have to go back to Anchorage Run Fest for this one.
They have great medals, and their shirts are dynamite.
Medals and
too.
shirts, man. They kill it on the medals and shirts. So I think I'm going to go with Anchorage Run Fest.
Yeah.
Last time we went, they did this iridescent finish to the medal, which was just super slick. And I was very pleased.
The animals on those medals.
And they celebrating the
good.
Wildlife there.
Yeah.
We've never had a wildlife encounter on the course, but every year there's been a wildlife encounter on the course.
I've always wanted one.
Depends. It depends. Like
A safe one. Safety first.
a safe one. Yeah. Because there are moose and bear that sometimes show up.
Okay. So you know how we do the 1 mile race the day before the longer races?
Yeah, right around that park.
Right around that park, and they have the military mile, and they do. There was a moose, wasn't there, in that house?
That was a reindeer.
That was a reindeer.
There's a reindeer there at
Sorry.
a petting zoo. It's still a gigantic animal.
So that's a wildlife sighting. So
yeah,
that's good. I like it. Okay.
Coolest costume seen at a race.
Oh, I have this. The last time we did the Avengers, we were between the two parks on the course, and we saw, who's the guy in Avengers? Oh my God, that says Mary Poppins, y'all.
Somebody,
what's the character?
That's Yondu.
Okay. So somebody had dressed up as a cross between Yondu and Mary Poppins.
And the actual Mary Poppins.
Yes. And I think that you actually got video of saying, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Huh?
So I thought that was super cool. I don't know how somebody actually ran the Wine and Dine when it was still at night and they showed up as Groot.
Oh, we have seen some of those. They did that.
Hands down.
They did
Great
like a foam textured. They looked like Groot, and they ran in that. And I'm like, I don't know how you do that. I've also seen people they run as a group, and it's the alligators and Captain Hook, and I'm like, y'all are crazy in these velour onesie type costumes running in Florida.
Deadpool once?
Seen Deadpool, and there's a guy that shows up to all the Disney races who is Captain Jack Sparrow.
Ugh. And I just can't. You've done the whole pirate costume.
I don't know how he does that one because he does the long jacket and the leggings and the whole shebang. And but he's there. He's at every race.
Yeah.
So coolest costume for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to give a shout out to all of the members of the 501st Legion that show up to races.
Nice.
That is a charity organization that's into Star Wars cosplay. They do a lot of work at hospitals and brightening up the days of kids. The 501st comes out to not only Disney races, but to a lot of other races, including locally that we've seen them at the Gasparilla race every year in Tampa.
Love that.
The quality of the costumes that those folks do are just second to none.
Yeah.
And they even show up to the Disney races and they outclass the actual Disney character stops. Yeah, they kill it.
I loved the year that we ran Avengers, where we were by the riverbed and you happened to get all the pictures with all the
Peggies.
All the Peggies.
Yeah, they're all the Peggy Carters.
Peggy Carters. Yeah. That was super cool. Super cool. Cheryl also asks, what food or drink do you wish all the aid stations carried?
Is ibuprofen a food?
It could be a food group. In our household, it's a food group.
I wish they would carry Element, LMNT, not a sponsor of the show, but
My
they
favorite
do
of
a
those.
great job. Their electrolytes are just delicious, and they've got all the salt and everything you need. I wish that more races had that. It's expensive if you're buying it. Even if you buy it in bulk on Amazon, it's expensive. So
Yeah.
they like their product.
Not a sponsor, but
They could be, and they can make it less expensive with a discount code. So I'm just saying.
for sure. They could come on the show.
Come on, Element.
And you could talk about all the benefit, everything.
Just saying.
Honey Stinger waffles.
Stroop waffles. Yes.
Yeah. Although lately, as we have asked people what they carry with them when they do Runcation recaps on our show, it's like, I want to try the maple syrup that I think that Cheryl was the first one to talk about it, maybe. Was it? I think it was Cheryl. And forgive me, I apologize, Runcation Nation, if I got that wrong. But we've heard it from multiple people in the Runcation Nation about that maple syrup that is for runners. When it's really cold, coffee, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Susie asked, what do you absolutely need to have on you on race day? Something that if you didn't have it would totally throw your mojo off. For me, I don't run without headphones and my phone. So that messes me up when I forget them. And I have done that before. I hate it. So.
Yeah. Yes, because there is, I painstakingly create a playlist for every race so that I can get into certain songs that will motivate me. And I think you are right. Having your phone and your headphones so that you can get into the zone. But if you didn't have nutrition, if you didn't have the nutrition that your body can tolerate, I can also see that being a nightmare. Yeah. I don't know. But I think you're right. That is what I need.
Gotta have your headphones.
Yeah.
So we have just finished all the running questions. And we
Yes.
still have the eating and drinking to do. So I think this is a great place for us to stop for today.
Yes.
And we will pick it up on the next episode with the eating and drinking questions, plus some bonus bites from my time in Boston.
Yeah. So that's a wrap.
That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We want to thank all of you for listening and continuing to subscribe.
Don't forget that the Donna Marathon weekend registration is now open. So join us in February of 2025. Register at breastcancermarathon.com. Thanks for joining us in 2024 on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, or wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon.
That's a wrap. So thank you for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe and well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.